Hello, Sagittarius. This is your reading for 2019. It's a general reading, okay? So if you don't know how I read, I shuffle the deck before I start rolling the camera. I cut the deck in front of you, okay? So here we are going to cut the deck. And right there looks good. All right, so the deck has been shuffled and cut, okay? So this is a private or a general reading. It's not a private reading specifically to you. There will be some things that are kind of off. There should be a lot of things that are correct for you, okay? It is for Sagittarius. If your sun sign, your zodiac sign is a Sagittarius, you want to watch this. Your moon sign and your rising or ascendant sign, they're the same thing, rising and ascendant. Just some people use one word, some people use the other word. If those are Sagittarius, this video is also for you. If you know a Sagittarius, sun, moon, rising, or ascendant, and you want to know what's in store for them, watch the video also, okay? So we've shuffled and cut the deck. I'm going to pull from the top, just the top cards, and we are going to have January 2019, February, March, and April. Okay, so I'm going to pull 4 cards for 3 lines. You're going to have trimesters. This is how we're reading the year. This is May, June, July, and August. And here we have September, October, November, and December. Okay, so here is your 2019 year in advance. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the card and I'm going to bring it over here so that way we can zoom in and actually see the card much better than if it were over there still, okay? So, why don't we get started? January 2019. All right, Sagittarius, you've got karma as your keyword. Now, what cause and effect have you been creating for yourself? What action, creating an equal reaction, have you been creating for yourself? A lot of people will say karma is you do something wrong or mean or malicious and it will come back and bite you 3 times. Or it will come back 3 times stronger to bite you in the butt. I do not believe in that. And the reason I don't believe in that is because where karma originally came from, that's not what the purpose was. Karma was trying to create something good so that way you had good energy always around you. If you did something negative, you would have some negative aspects, but it didn't come back quickly. It didn't probably even come back this year, this lifetime. It was mostly for like recreation or reincarnation. Reincarnation aspects. You were bad this lifetime, you're going to have a really crappy life next lifetime. That sort of thing, okay? So you will not hear me say like, it's going to come back and bite you 3 times. No. But the energy you put out will return. It has to return. There's a reaction. Okay? Every action has an opposite and equal reaction. All right? It's the law of motion. So, what are you doing? What have you been doing? This card looks very, very, very much like DNA, right? And it's actually saying DNA. It also looks like the Kundalini snakes, the Kundalini serpents. Okay? So, what have you been doing? What has your life been up to this point? And why are you worried about it coming back and biting you? Why are you worried about these snakes coming back? How can you erase your karma? Because yes, you can fix your karma. You can make your karma better. You can, I'm not going to say delete it, but you can put out so much good that the negative, there's no more negative anymore. Okay? So, what have you been doing? You might want to get a piece of paper and a pencil and actually sit down and write this out. Put the video on pause and write it out. What are the negative things that I find negative? What do I feel like I've done that's been negative? What do I feel like I've done that's been mean? What do I feel like I've done that's been harmful? Now, because it says DNA, okay, there is a school of thought that says like family curses, family DNA, family karma. What has your family done? What kind of negative aspects, what kind of negative energy has your family put out that you feel is affecting you? Lots of stuff to think about, right? Now, I don't want to promote myself too much in these videos, but they are kind of for promoting myself, okay? So if you feel like you really need some help with your karma, message me. I do have some offerings like that. They are on a very personal basis. So I can't say like, oh, well, the fee is such and such because this is the fee for everything. No, it depends on what your situation is. But message me, say, hey, Maria, you said something about helping me with my karma, and then tell me what you feel like you need, okay? My family karma has been blah, blah, blah. I've been doing this. I feel like my karma is really messed up. How can you help me? Do that, all right? And I will get back to you. Might take about a couple of hours. Depending on what time it is, it might be the following day, but I will help you, okay? So that is for this month. Start writing out your karma. What do you want your karma to be like? How have you been using your karma? What kind of karma do you think you've been creating? What kind of karma has your family created? Because that DNA is there for a reason, right? Okay, February. Let's see what February has in store for you, Sagittarius. Ebb and flow. And this is another card I haven't ever seen. I'm really loving that these cards are coming up now. So, there is always a cycle of low tide and high tide. There's a cycle of bad luck and good luck. There's a cycle of happy times and bad times. It is a cycle. It has to happen. This is required throughout life, okay? So it's your perception of what you want to see. When there's an ebb, right? And the tide goes out and the water is far away. Most people will go beachcombing. They look for shells. They look for clams. They have things they do when the tide goes out, but they know the tide will come back in. So you need to be very, very careful when you're doing these things, because if you're not prepared for the tide to come in, sometimes the tide comes in really quickly. And in places, there have been stories of like people being caught in a high tide and being washed out to sea. Okay? I'm trying to remember, there was a couple of summers I spent really close to the beach. And that was one of the stories that was constantly told. I was a young kid. It was constantly told when we were out searching for clams or shells or things, is be very careful. Make sure you stay close to me, because in 10 minutes, the tide is coming back. In 5 minutes, the tide is coming back. Okay, it's time to go because the tide is going to start coming in right now. 2 minutes. Let's move now. So, there is times where you will have bad luck. There are times where you're going to be depressed. There's times where you're going to be really, really emotional. This does not mean, and I'd have to pull this over here, okay, because it's just screaming. It doesn't mean it's bad karma. It just means it's life. It doesn't mean it's a curse. It just means it's life, okay? You need to keep an emotionally stable outlook on the circle of life, on the cycle of life, on the cycle of everything, the ebb and flow, okay? And especially emotionally. You're thinking in February that anytime there's a little bit of a change, oh my God, something's horrible. And especially with that karma card, I'm thinking right now, you are seriously thinking you have some sort of family curse. You are seriously thinking that you have karma coming and biting you in the ass right now. And it's going to happen for like 3 months or 7 months or 10 months or whatever is the magical number that you were told. Because I did it for 1 month, or I did it for 3 days. So now it's going to happen for 9 days or 15, whatever, right? No, not particularly. Sometimes it's just the ebb and flow. Now I want you to take a look at this. Water is emotion, okay? So out here, out at sea, out in the ocean, the emotion is plain, calm, simple. It's beautiful, still waters out there, right? Sparkling, beautiful. But here close to shore is where it's getting rough and choppy. So You are ungrounded. I don't know what other thing to say about this. You're ungrounded. You need to seriously look into getting grounded, okay? And I had another zodiac sign that it was like they needed to learn to be grounded. So here's another one. So I will try to get a video up in the next couple of weeks on really, really quick how-to on how to get grounded. Just so that way you can work on it too if you don't know how, okay? Now we've got mountains out here in the background. This means there's a bit of struggle, okay? Everybody has a little bit of a struggle. It doesn't necessarily mean there's something wrong. If, however, you seriously think there is a curse, there is a family curse, something really bad is happening, my information is down there below. I do removals, okay? Contact me if it's really, really, really freaking you out, all right? Okay, let's check what March has to say. And yes, I did get really happy really quickly because that was kind of deep and we don't need to carry that deepness into the year. March, we have release. And I love that. Okay, so what does this mean? Does this mean just let it go? Very, very possibly, especially if it's something of your own creation. If this is a freak out of your own creation, right? Somebody told you something and now you're freaking out about it because, oh my God, that person knows what they're talking about. And you haven't had a second opinion. You haven't talked to anybody about it. You're just making yourself sick, which means you're creating a lot of negative energy for yourself. Then it's time to really sit down and let it go. And if you can't on your own, contact somebody. I'm somebody you can contact, okay? We can talk about it. We can see whether there really is something there or whether somebody's playing with you or whether you're creating your own negative energy. We can help you release, okay? Especially if you're not able to do it on your own. And with this sort of situation, it's very, very, very possible for that. It's just not, you just can't do it on your own, right? You need somebody else to help. And that's totally fine. That's logical and it's necessary, but it is time to release, okay? So let's get back to this card. Look at this card. It looks like it's autumn, doesn't it? The trees are ready to release their leaves. Why do trees do this in the autumn? Because they require energy to keep that leaf alive. And the tree is going to require as much energy as it can spare as it goes into like a hibernation mode to stay alive itself during the glim, icky parts of winter, right? If you love winter, it's still icky for trees. There's really no way that they have energy. The leaves are gone. The leaves are what create energy by photosynthesis. So they're gone. They really only have their roots to try to get some nutrients out of the ground, but they are grounded and they will be back. Okay. So March, time for release. Release of a lot of the thoughts that you've been carrying around for the past few months and possibly forever. April, compassion. Okay, so who are you going to need to give compassion? First off, you need compassion for yourself. Be compassionate to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Okay? Also, be compassionate to those around you. But really, I feel this card is to yourself. You've been beating yourself up so far. Why? Why are you doing that? If this card, when you watch this and it's making sense to you for January and especially February and kind of March, contact somebody, please. Be compassionate with yourself. If you wait until February, please contact somebody. If you wait until March, please contact somebody. Because you need assistance in being compassionate with yourself. And I'm saying yourself because look at these hands. One is the right hand and one is the left hand. The right hand, or the left, however you want to term it, is giving a heart to the other one. You're giving a heart to yourself. You're giving love to yourself because honestly, you haven't been doing that. You've been freaking yourself out. You're probably really close to having an ulcer if you don't already. So please, please, please be compassionate with yourself. If you need help, find help. Whatever that help might be. It could be just to have somebody to cry on their shoulder. It could be somebody that really, your priest, your spiritual guidance counselors, your spiritual leaders, anybody, whatever the help is, please find it, okay? And I know, Sagittarius, you don't like to do that. I mean, you carry your own bow and arrow. You don't need anyone's help. You can do that yourself. This is me, okay? But come back over here for just a second. Really, you need to do that. You also need to be a little bit compassionate to those around you, but I'm really picking up it needs to be to yourself, okay? So May, effortless. Once you're compassionate with yourself, once you've had a chance to talk through all of the stuff that's bothering you with somebody who is probably experienced in it, who probably knows about it, or somebody who doesn't and says, you know what, get a second opinion. Find somebody who can help you with this. Whatever the case may be, right? It becomes effortless. You're free. You're able to just let go and release and be happy. Okay, now I want you to take a look at this. The release card that you had, right? I'm seeing lots of connections in this effortless card. I'm going to put that one back. We've got what's supposed to be just dirt and rock, but it's giving me the feeling of autumn leaves. Do you see that? We have a couple of trees here. These ones don't lose their leaves because they're like evergreens, but they don't look like they're stressed out either, right? They've let go of so much of their foliage down here. Okay, the water, the emotions are easily let go of. They just flow downhill. Nothing is stopping them. Do you see that? There's no block to those emotions. They're just able to flow. Whatever doesn't serve the purpose to the trees and the grass and the ferns around is just let go. All of the plant life in this image is getting what they need from that water. And they're not hoarding it, and they're not keeping a hold of it. They're not holding on to it. They just get what they need and they let it go. Okay? You need to do this too, especially with this idea of family karma or your own karma. Take what you need, understand what you need, and let it go. June 2019. Completion. Okay. So we have a full moon. Full moons represent, or actually the moon represents, intuition, feminine energies, so nurturing, okay? It represents, because it's full, completion. Everything that was trying to grow at one point of time has grown. It's reached its finish line. It's reached its full bloom, okay? So, taking this card back over here, right? We've had, you're freaking out. You don't know if it's bad luck, if it's really a curse, if it's family karma coming after you. You've begun to let go. You've sought out your compassion, and it's effortless. It's complete. It's done. Completely 100% gone, done. Let it go. Take a look at the tree. The tree has some leaves, and it has some broken branches. It's been through hell. This poor tree has been through hell, but it's still standing. Okay? June, you're going to feel like you've been through hell, but you're still standing. And that is one of the most important things to remember. Okay, so July. Communication. Communication with your spirit. Communication with the divine. Communication with your own intuition. Okay? So through all of the stuff you've been through throughout the beginning of the year, the first half of the year, now it's time to say it's done. June, it was done, right? July, you're going to spend some time really thinking about what this did to you. How did this make you stronger? How did it connect you to a spiritual aspect? How did it connect you to your intuition? How did it connect you to all sorts of things, actually? And how are you going to continue communicating with everything around you after this? Okay? So a lot of times after you've done something, okay, you've survived something, people will come to you and say, you know what, I watched you go through this and I didn't know how to help, but I think I'm going through it too. What do I need to do? Okay, so now you've got the chance, especially with that karma card, right? Are you going to allow people to be scared of what you went through? Make your story sound scary, horrible, and say, well, it's just really, really bad? Are you going to say, you know what, it was bad, I made it through, this is the people who helped me, or this is how I got help, you should really talk to this person, get a second opinion, and just kind of like encourage them and help them? Or are you going to do like that person who's been scaring the hell out of you? Okay, so you've got a choice in July. August. Stillness. All right. Every so often, it is a brilliant idea for you, for anybody, honestly, but for you too, especially with what's been going on in your life so far, for you to just sit back and relax. No worries about anything. Just sit back and relax. All of the water in this card, this pond or lake, it's like ice, right? It's like a mirror. It's reflecting everything around it. It's time for you to sit back and reflect. It's time for you to sit back and be still and not stress and not worry, but just look at how far you've come. Look at how much you've grown. Look at how much you've learned. Be appreciative to anybody who is with you. Be appreciative to yourself, because you know what, Sagittarius? You've been through the freaking trenches. And you've come out stronger than ever. Okay? It's time to be appreciative of that. It's time for you to go, wow, I am awesome. Okay? And especially since it's right underneath that compassion card, you still need compassion, okay? Don't start beating yourself up because maybe you should have done it this way, or maybe you should have done it that way. Here we have September, and we've got a breach. A breaching whale. Humpback whale, honestly. Okay, so when whales breach, there's two reasons they breach. One is for feeding, and the other is for fun. Yeah, whales do this for fun. It's a play activity. It's enjoyable. So what have you been doing for fun? Throughout this whole year, what have you done that you've enjoyed? What have you done that made you smile? What have you done that made you laugh? Have you cackled? Have you giggled? Or have you been so serious and so down and out that you haven't ever had fun? Okay? So the feeding aspect of this card, right? The whale's feeding. What are you feeding yourself? And I don't mean like, oh, well, I'm eating steak and potatoes and Cheetos every day. Or I'm eating apples and kale every day. No, what are you feeding yourself? What do you watch? What do you read? What do you listen to? Who are the people around you, and what thoughts are they conversing about? What are your conversations about? What are you talking about? What have you been feeding yourself? Emotionally, spiritually, mentally. Okay? You might want to think about changing that. Something more fun, maybe. Something that helps you have a fun outlook. Something that helps you relax. Okay? Okay. October 2019. The wolf and instinct is what we have here. Okay. You have your instinct, right? You have internal understanding. Because of what you've gone through in the beginning of the year, you now can say, anytime something happens, this is just normal. This is just normal life. Or you can say, oh crap, I need to find some sort of help. I need something to base this off of. This doesn't seem normal anymore, okay? So what is your intuition? What is your instinct saying? And the reason I'm telling you this is because we're going to go down this line, okay? Here we have ebb and flow. We've got a cycle. There's happy times, there's sad times. There's bad luck, there's good luck. It's constantly circling. You have to have one to understand the other. You have to have one so that way when the other one comes, you know what the heck it is. Because if you had only the same thing all of the time, that would be extremely boring. If it was good luck, if it was only happiness. And it would be extremely terrifying if it was only bad luck and only sadness. Okay? And then we have Your intuition. That full moon, your intuition, right? So what does your intuition tell you every time you cycle through this? Is your intuition freaking out? Oh my God, it's bad luck. There has to be something wrong. Or is it going, I've had a couple of months of good luck. It's only natural that I have some bad luck now. Oh, okay, the bad luck's gone. Everything's cool. Good luck is coming again. Okay? Or is your instinct saying something is not right? I understand there's an ebb and flow. I understand there's a cycle, but this is not right. Something is not right. Something feels off. My gut is clenched and I'm feeling sick. Something is wrong. I need to go talk to somebody. Okay? In October, especially in October, because of all of the energy that's going on in October with Halloween and with the dead and with the spooky and with all of that, okay? You need to really pay attention to your instinct. It's a good idea to remember there's all of this energy. I might just be picking up on the energy and that's what's making me kind of nervous. But it's also, whoever you were talking to in the beginning of the year, drop them a message. Hey, this is what's going on. What do you think? Okay? Don't let anything get bad again. October. Submerged. All right. So we have two icebergs here. Normally, I read these two icebergs as a clash of emotions. It looks like two heads butting heads. And I'm just going to point it out for you just in case. Forehead, nose, mouth, the chin is in the water. Forehead, nose, mouth, chin is in the water. Okay? So, somewhere you're submerging emotions. Water is emotions. Okay? You're hiding some emotions. You don't want to acknowledge it. This card is concerning, coming right after the instinct card, okay? What do you not want to see? What do you not want to understand? What do you not want to accept? And who are you fighting with about it? Who are you butting heads with about it? Okay, so if you didn't contact your person in October and November, I would really suggest you contact your person, okay? I would really suggest you pay very careful attention to how you're reacting with people. Are you reacting in a negative way? Are you reacting in a positive way? Why are you reacting in these ways? Be very, very careful and see everything, okay? Even what you don't want to see, even what you don't want to acknowledge. It's extremely important for you, Sagittarius. Now, I'm going to say something because this reading is supposed to be a general reading, okay? And I'm picking up a lot of really negative energy. It doesn't necessarily mean that every single one of you has all of this negative energy, okay? Some of this stuff could just be some simple bad luck. Some of this stuff could be something a little bit more. Because some of it is a little bit more, and the person who has it being a little bit more is sitting there going, I don't know. I don't know. This card is telling you contact somebody. Okay, if you don't want to work with me, contact me. I can give you some referrals possibly, depending on like what's going on. Contact somebody, please. Even if it's like, you know what, I think it's just bad luck. Talk to somebody, get a second opinion, okay? I don't want to see any of you suffering throughout the full year. I don't want to see any of you suffering into 2020, okay? I would rather point out a lot of negative and give you resources of how to fix it than to pretend like nothing is going on. Okay? So, you're probably sitting there going, oh my God, this is a terrifying reading. Yeah, it kind of is. But I read shadow. I see the negative. I see the negative much more than anybody else because I understand the negative, okay? And I understand how to get you out of the negative, which is something that is extremely important. That is something you want from people, to help you get out of the negative. Okay? December. Harmony. Okay, I love that this is the last card for the year. I am so happy that this is the last card for the year. We're going to take a look at these two women first off, though, because they've got some negative emotions towards themselves, between themselves, don't they? One towards the other, vice versa. They refuse to acknowledge each other. They refuse to look at each other. They refuse to have any kind of friendly energy towards each other. One has her back to the other. She does not want to hear that person. She doesn't want to see that person. okay? But they work together to create something beautiful, okay? No matter what is going on, you always have the option to attempt to make life easier for other people. Let's pretend for just a second that these two women are sisters, possibly, and they've had really, really difficult, strained relationship for a very long time, right? But the other sister is getting married today, and these two are like the best music players of the whole town, village, whatever. She's asked them to please play together because together they make such beautiful music, and it would be so amazing to have you two play at my wedding, right? Even though they don't like each other that much, even though they can't stand each other that much, even though they've got really bad blood between them, they were able to work together to create something beautiful for somebody they care about. Okay? So, it's very important for you to also realize this, okay? Especially with this kind of readings that you've been having this year. Even though somebody's really upset you, even though somebody you'd like to pull their eyeballs out, it is okay for a short amount of time to try to attempt to be civil with somebody, just so that way someone else has a nice time, okay? You don't have to be at each other's throats all of the time. Now, if this person is abusive to you, if this person actually has caused harm, it's not just some snarky comments, it's not just some bad blood, they are truly abusive, they are truly toxic to you, this card is void, okay? Do not worry about this card. Do not worry about this situation. So in December, when it's time to celebrate Christmas and it's time to celebrate all of these family holidays, if there's somebody who has actually abused you, and I shouldn't say actually, if there's somebody who has abused you, if there's somebody who is emotionally abusive to you, and this person is toxic as AF to you, right? You can avoid the holidays. You can stay in the kitchen while they're in the living room. You can stay in the living room while they're in the kitchen. You can do this. This is 100% acceptable. And you can say, you know what? This person is here. I can't go. That is acceptable. But if it's just some bad feelings from 5th grade, some bad feelings from 7 years ago, you can try to keep the peace for everybody else. Okay? And you need to use your intuition. You need to use your instinct. If you need second opinions, contact that person that you lean on. Contact your people, right? Ask them, hey, this is the situation I have with this person. This person is going to be at Christmas dinner. I don't think I can handle it. What do you think? Get some second opinions. That's totally fine. Okay? So, Sagittarius. This has been a general reading for Sagittarius, okay? Not every single one of you this is going to fit with, because it's not personalized to every single one of you. If you need a card reading that is personalized to you, like you're like, Maria, I am terrified. I need my own reading. There's the information down in that description box down there. You can get your own personalized reading, okay? And this would be only to you. So some of this stuff may not have anything to do with you. Or some of this stuff is like a 0.1 and I'm reading it as a 0.7. All right? So don't freak out about that. If you have enjoyed this reading, please hit the like button. Every like is wonderful to me. Every like is very appreciated. It's kind of like, you guys, if you don't like it, why do I do it? You know? Subscribe, so that way you know when your moon sign is up. You know when your ascendant sign is up. You know when your children's signs are up. Okay? I've been saying your sun sign, your moon sign, your ascendant sign. If you don't know what those signs are, the website has a real quick, cheap reading for finding that out. It's called What's Your Sign, Baby? And it gives you your moon sign, your sun sign, and your rising or ascendant sign. Okay? So, thank you, Sagittarius, for letting me read for you, okay? I really recommend you hit subscribe, because there was some places in here, I think I told you, like the grounding, that I'm going to get a mini grounding lesson up for you. You should really watch that. Hitting subscribe will tell you when it's up, okay? And thank you so much for letting me read for you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.